Okay, we are all living in a world of bite-sized content, right? Endless feeds, super quick cuts, trends that are gone in a flash. So when you hear the phrase corporate video, your mind probably goes to something, well, a little cringy, a little dated. But here's the thing. A truly great one can still be a secret weapon for building trust and making a real connection. So today, we're going to break down how to craft a video that actually does that.
I mean, let's just be real for a second. We've all seen that video. You know the one. The CEO is a little stiff, the stock music is just so generic, and it's loaded with corporate jargon that just makes your brain turn off. It might tick a box, sure, but it's completely forgettable an hour later. So why do so many companies get this so wrong?
Well, it really boils down to this. Most company videos are just press releases on film. They inform, but they don't inspire. They're functional, but they don't connect. The goal should be to create something that feels human, something that builds genuine trust. And the difference isn't about the budget, it's about having a completely different mindset from the very beginning.
And this gets us to what the source for this explainer calls the unforgettable video problem. And what's so interesting is that it's not a failure of cameras or editing software. It's a failure of intention. The problem starts way, way before anyone even thinks about hitting the record button.
It all starts with the brief. Most of the time, a brief is just a to-do list, right? It's all about the what. We need to announce this new thing, or we need to explain these quarterly results. But they totally miss the most important questions. Why are we actually saying this? And crucially, how do we want our audience to feel after they've watched it?
And that simple shift in focus, that pivot from just delivering information to actually creating an emotional experience, that changes everything. It's the secret sauce that turns a forgettable video into a memorable one.
This quote from the source just nails it. The goal isn't just to make a video, it's to move people. And move can mean a lot of things, right? It could mean moving them to feel proud of where they work, or moving them to finally understand a complex idea, or even moving them to take a specific action. The point is, you're looking for a response, not just sending a broadcast out into the void.
Okay, so that's the big idea, but how do you actually put it into practice? That's where this really clear 5-step creative blueprint comes in. It's a roadmap for making this happen.
You can see how this all flows together. It all starts with step 1, the brief, which is all about finding that emotional why. Then you take that why into the script, where you turn it into an actual story, not just a boring list of points. For the shoot, the whole goal is to make the people on camera feel comfortable, confident, and, human. Step 4 is the edit, where all the magic happens, layering music and pacing to get the feeling just right. And finally, the broadcast. This isn't just about uploading it to YouTube, it's about strategically placing that video where it's going to have the biggest impact.
I love this part. The source calls the editing process alchemy. And that's the perfect word for it, isn't it? It's not just about stitching clips together. It's this amazing process where you combine music and timing and tone to transform raw footage into a genuine experience. It's the difference between sitting through a lecture and getting lost in a movie.
So, this all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Well, the source provided a perfect case study that put this exact blueprint to the test.
So here was the situation. A huge national organization needed to get over 5,000 employees on board with a brand new company purpose and strategy. Now, they could have just sent out a long email or a dry PDF, but instead, they decided to create a video series using this exact human-centered approach. The stakes were pretty high. So what happened? First, the hard numbers. The videos got a 4 times increase in views on their company intranet compared to what they usually saw. Right away, that tells you something important. It cut through the noise. People were actually curious enough to press play. But this is the metric that I think is even more powerful. It wasn't just about watching. Follow-up engagement, so people actually clicking on links, asking questions, and getting involved, jumped by 38%. The videos didn't just inform people, they moved them to act.
But honestly, you can forget the metrics for a second. The real proof for me is in the feedback that came directly from the staff. They called the videos inspiring and, my favorite part, finally human. That one word, finally, tells you the entire story.
This approach didn't just work, it filled a void that employees were clearly feeling.
So let's bring this all home. Let's land the plane with the one crucial takeaway. If you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, I hope it's this.
At the end of the day, it's about heart, not hype. Hype is flashy, it's temporary, but heart builds genuine belief and belonging. And in a world that is just constantly screaming for our attention, a message that has real sincerity and humanity, that's not just a nice to have, it's an incredibly powerful asset.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about for yourself. Whether it's for your own team, your customers, or your community, what's the one message you're trying to share right now that you don't just need people to hear, but that you need them to truly feel?